IAG again. A bit frustrated. So, the previous couple of videos, two videos, was it three? They've been chopped somehow, and a lot of information has been, well, half the video has just been cut up. So, it didn't tell the full narrative of what was happening. So, essentially, what I want to do is kind of start again. And how am I going to do that? I'm just simply going to start again, remove all the drawings, um, and then see what happens. So, what have we got here? What have we got? IAG. So, obviously, quite a lot of oscillations going on there. First of all, is to establish where is this trend? Where is the trend line? Where is the bottom levels of support? The first and most obvious one is coming from um, overall trend. So these things change over time. What happens? Is this rising up all the time? And just going to have to be patient with this one. And 'cause I'm unsure where the bottom is. Is it declining? Is it going up again? There's so much. There's a little level of uncertainty on there. So what I'm going to do is just simply cut through it all and then see where just take a broad median and bear in mind where the main levels of support are. So it's just absolutely potential. So, see, is it cutting through here broadly? Do I just put a big box in there and describe? So I might just put a box in there, the yellow box. Why yellow box? Because you use these and quite often they're very useful for describing areas of general where we want to find support. So if it falls through, we know in that box sort of acts as a warning zone. It could go anywhere, absolutely anywhere at all. But broadly, we've got high lows, except for here. When was that? October 2020. So that's quite recent, that low. That's interesting because that October one, I wonder what the market news was for there in that area for Rolls Royce. Remember, they were having some issues restructuring and got rid of lots of jobs. Does the low particularly there relate to that? But as I start to scan out and seeing these areas here, so these are areas of accumulation. These are areas of accumulation, and the rise up and an area perhaps reaccumulation or distribution. You've seen a sharp drop there. When was that? So August 11. I don't know what that in the market history may relate to. Was there a bear market at that time? What happened? Again, falls on the brakes, comes down quite well. I've seen those higher highs over the years and reaccumulate a nice area, solid accumulation, an area of lateral movement, sort of volatility. Um, and this is where people start buying in. The smart money starts trying to buy in. The market is in indecision. It's just resting, waiting for the next move, waiting for a decisive move. In this case, got a really good strong breakout, moving up 100%. So yeah, just going through a little bit of the history and understanding what's going on. It's 447%. That is incredible. Absolutely incredible. Oh, that looks like a black swan event. Is that the black swan? 2nd of March 2020. Imagine putting on some shorts there. Wow. Imagine having loaded up on the shorts. So yeah, look at that. Nice sharp, steady trend line coming up through there. So again, solidly came down from that peak. Was perhaps wanting to move up a little bit higher, wasn't it? Let's take that peak up there. Take that peak up there. Again, channeling along. So what are the behavioural habits of this type of stock? What are we looking at? What can we expect? What forms does it take? Again, lots of Lots and lots and lots. So what do we have here? Is that a broadening wedge? So how do these things behave? Because quite often stocks have their own sort of personalities, their behavioural traits. We've all got them, and markets. These candles, these charts, are simply expressions of mass market psychology, human behaviour expressed in sort of histograms and charts and such like. Wow, look at that, eh? Look at that there. Broadening channel again. Broadening channel. Broadening channel. A bearish type movements. They're quite kind of squarish, aren't they? The overall patterns. They don't form triangles. Again, another squarish one down there. Fairly square, aren't they? So these aren't anything particularly new. So it does have repeat type of behaviour in there. So what do we got here? There is this. So wow, okay. This is slightly interesting. So maybe it's a slightly different form in there. What's in there? Is he forming a symmetrical triangle? What are symmetrical triangles? How do they relate to what's going on? Well, a symmetrical triangle is essentially a neutral pattern. So different types of patterns. So if it's an ascending triangle, for instance, it's drawn out, an ascending triangle, level top equal, broadly equal highs and higher lows is a bullish pattern. It goes up and simply ranges in there. So you might form up ranging along and moves up. And these could come from a market downside or it could come from a market upside before ranging and moving up. Never guaranteed 100%, but that's good. It's more likely going in the favour of the upside. And a triangle which is this is neutral, undecided, indecisive. Perhaps people are waiting for a decisive move out from the market, the market to make a decisive move, and they can start trading on there to get some solid direction for the market and make their dispositions accordingly. This one's got some fantastic range, hasn't it? Fantastic range. Price down, hit that low, come up. 75%. Wowzers, trousers. 66% potentially coming up there. Never guaranteed. Even so, comes up to that previous high, comes up to the neutral zone. So it's median zone. So you see area here. So it's quite median. Now, we've seen this quite a bit. This sort of median zone through here. Broadly, just cut a swath through those solid bodies, the highs and lows of those candles. So the feet of the candles, the tops of the candles in the monthly shows broadly there is some kind of median zone. Is this just going to kind of oscillate away and then out? It's moved bullish there, hasn't it? Come down. And sometimes they just trickle out here and then we just get low volume, which would be awful. That's sometimes how it can play out. But previously sort of seen how there was a middling channel through here and had just expected just kind of range like this, sort of broadly range like this. This was a kind of area to watch out and trade for. This is what I have done and thought, well, that's a nice sort of middle area. Don't take too much chance on breaking out from that line or breaking low from that line. Don't take too much chance in there. Trade what is a solid disposition through there in the median area. That was ranging, effective ranging. I'm going to get laughed at for that probably in some ways because, wow, you're missing out on there. You could have shorted down here. Yes, maybe, but for me, it's about risk management, being very careful, cautious, and due to sort of lack of experience, time on the market is key. So what is this? 50-50, can break low, can break low, can break low, can break high, can just trickle out here. I'm wondering what's going on. So recently I've had the bottom in the last week. And so let's just go to the weekly chart, see how this pattern looks. It doesn't look so brutal there now, does it? Doesn't look so brutal there where it did before. Little area of accumulation, distribution, sort of establishing here, bottom here. See how choppy that is? Really, really choppy, uncertain, volatile. Nobody needs to know what's going on. There's lack of structure and lack of market structure on there due to the uncertainty. Psychology says we don't know what's going on. We're all over the place. We're just doing this, that, and the other. But looking for, found its way, established a nice bottom down here, and has wended its way back up to really, really test there. Looking perhaps there's a strong bullish case for a V-shaped recovery on there. So it's calmed down, bounced down there, looking to get the V-shaped recovery. Now, I'm wondering here, I've seen this a couple of times. So narratives quite often repeat themselves again and again, which I've seen. Don't know why. So patterns kind of repeat themselves. I'm wondering if we're going to be looking at something like that. That is a W bottom, a real strong bottom. So it's establishing an area of the market's establishing an area of support. There's a trend reversal pattern coming after some bearish movements. Again, what's happened here? So there's another classic W there. Look at that, massive W banging along. Look at that, just for demonstration purposes. So neckline, you can potentially, is it there? So you can measure those out with some degree of certainty to cut across there. Yeah, so it's come down, up, and that was on a trade. Get in on that accumulation phase. That 120% over a couple of years, but still, it's there to see. There's fantastic opportunities. Tiring, sort of waiting for these things to turn up, these opportunities. But when they do, be prepared. So again, 98% just that line, and it did break out further to continue that sort of pattern there. Look there, nice and level with that high, the previous high, across from there. So from the previous high coming across, and that if a person was super bullish, go for a breakout, they could have got, with some confirmation, in 200 and something percent there, 250%. Wow. Yeah, so it does look rather good. Now, is there room to manoeuvre on there? The more I look at these charts, thank you, by the way, to the fine gentleman who's put me on there. Thank you very much. Give me something to look at, think about, mull over, chew over, and this is it. Sort of looking and finding out new things, which is good. Pushing out the comfort bubble a little bit there, getting yourself out of the rut. And now I'm going to switch over to the daily. Have a look at this local pattern, lower time frame, see what's really happened. And of course, that's ranging quite well. That's beautiful. Lower lows, not testing there, sticking, moving more to the median area, not unexpected for a symmetrical triangle. We'll see what's here. Broken down, broken heavy. We've had some bad news lately in all sorts of markets for all sorts of different reasons. Interest rates, particularly America here, and also inflationary factors. fuel, general cost of living, illiquidity in the market, equities just getting a bit of a squeeze on there. The equities not looking a bit shady. Printing money, Fed printing money, all kinds of stuff. We've got, and geopolitical stuff. Yeah. And so we've had this massive downer. Look at her. Just come down, bosh, hit there. Weren't sure where it was going to play out. Where was the previous trend on there? I want to have a look at the previous trend. So where was the previous trend on? Because that is actually going to be quite important for what's going on. So I'm going to slip that in there. So previous trend line, and seeing out there, put that in a much smaller size. There, let's put it on the one, and there is key. So why put the old trend line in? I've redrawn that, put the bulky one down there. Why? Because when things move back up, that previous trend, that psychological line, is still on people's charts, still on all the traders' charts, still on all the charts in Wall Street, everywhere else, and also the retail traders, everything. It's still on every person who's involved in it, got a little bit in the market. They're looking and they're seeing that previous trend line. There is a real good psychological place to be. What happens? So it can be rejected. It could have come up and been rejected. Bam. But this time it's come and sat above. It's moved, rised above. This rise above, and hopefully will retain in there. I'm wondering again, is this going to happen? So is there going to be an ascending triangle for a move up? We shall see. Bear in mind, previous highs, previous little levels of distribution within this pattern. And, those peaks and troughs, those distribution areas, those highs where it just sells off, moves down within the predicted pattern. Nice market certainty at this stage, relative market safety, because the certainty adds structure. And we've got this pivot structure being distribution where the pivot point is to pivot low. Just had a massive low, setting the low, new low on there, and there is indecision, but there's certainty. People can see the structure and they understand why this asymmetrical is happening. Market indecision. So there is an appetite. The good side is an appetite for it to move up. There is buying opportunity. People can see the value. They want to buy the future earnings. They want to invest in Rolls-Royce, International IAG, International Consolidated Airlines. They like British Airways. They buy British. Right, and so just popping away from the 4 hour. This was a fantastic one. So reviewing here, what did happen? I mean, my previous videos had the chop off, didn't they? I think I might have had price to come up maybe 230. That was the conservative line. So where are you? So round about there, and it has. That was an aggressive take, 382. And if it did reject there, it was going to come down, certainly to the 236. There's 236 fibs here. It's come up above the 382. Knife through butter, hot knife through butter. It's come through there. And appears to be sitting, is risen above that trend line, and is just it's come through, and it's come back above. So we've got 3 candles above in the 4 hourly. So there's half a day's trading there. Perhaps let's just check out the timeline on that. 0800, 9th of March. Close of play. So that was the close of it. Open. So that was the open. 0800 on the 9th of March. Pop back up. Come through there. And in the day's trading, decided he wanted to finish above that line. That is wonderful, absolutely wonderful to see. Could I take you from that capitulation candle? See here, bit of a capitulation candle there. Absolute confirmation, more of a confirmation level for the perhaps dipping under those EMAs there. So perhaps a confirmation candle that was going to come and swing down. There, definitely there. So what's the previous highs on there? Absolutely. So there's one place to look at it. How does it behave? And again, see the level of support on the main body there. So there is slightly, a more conservative way of looking at it. It's going to range perhaps along there. Is it going to range, test that 382 in comparison? So just looking this trend line where it cuts through there at 382, between the 382 and the 50. Just looking there, seeing how that plays out. Right, look at this. Still not guaranteed, not out of the woods yet. It's convenient, too convenient. It feels too convenient to say. I'll take it from there, and that pretty much above that 382. But 382 still opportunity range up. I want to see it move above. So be aware. Do keep an eye on the fibs and how they relate to the these trend lines as well. So still expect maybe some chop coming through there, and if it does move above, still expect it to move above or reject at that point at the trend line. I want to see it's coming more, sit above, move up. That would be really good. That would be really good. Excellent recovery. Come back up to that sort of area. I think I said, was it 130, 130 as a reasonable point to get in, and that was going to be a real squeeze, a real test to get beyond that because of the trend line, and it's had the energy there. What about the volume? Let's have a look at volume. Getting both nice areas, level, massive, slightly declining volume. Would like to have a look at the MACD. Do have a look at the MACD. Look at things, how they're overbought, oversold, undersold, underbought, that sort of thing. And also the RSIs. Where are they crossing over? How are they crossing over? Where are they positioned? 30, 70, etc. Do have a look at the RSI, our Relative Strength Index. Absolutely key indicator. Fantastic bit of kit to help inform a decision of whether this thing is where it is in the rise. Is there more room? Use the RSI to find out if there's more room for maneuver coming up. Is it looking overbought, ready to come down again? Those are what the RSI does. Underbought, oversold, etc. Really key. Helping to find an entry point, recognizing what the market sentiment is in addition to these candles and these exponential moving averages. Just come up. That EMA is looking, seeking for a crossover. So it would be nice to get some further rises. So it's come down hard at the moment. I want to go from the peak off there in this since, there we go. So we want to have a look at that. How's it going to come up? It's tested on that 5.0, isn't it? Trying to want to get sneak up above the 5.0. A bullish case to say there. See, there's that room between the trend line and the 5.0 to range a little bit more, be a little bit less compressed. Is this going to sort of set out? How's this going to play out? I don't know. Is it just going to come up quite sharply still? Like that. Moving along. See, they've got these consolidations, matching those consolidations in a way. Tops of those consolidatory phases actually rises areas of support and resistance, which might well be relative to going across there. And the previous price history does offer support and resistance. So key to look at that. Price prediction. I don't know. I'll come up trumps on this one. I thought, hopefully, and I want to see this successful. I want to see this successful. What is the bearish case? What is a case of if things correct and move down again? To little retracements. What's that all about? Get off you. So what does that mean? Retracement as it goes. Is it going to come down, have a little breather? So again, on that rise there from the most bottom to the top of the current by the end of the week here, again, that 236 does fit in the narrative. Bear in mind what I just looked at with the fibs and the 382, yeah, and just looking along there, see how that squeezes the narrative. Do expect it to maybe come below. It's the opportunities. Will it come below? Will it hold above the 236? It's going to pop up and down possibly. Will it hold above that 236 as well? If it is coming down, so it's taking a pause. Does look like there's got this sort of looks like an unfinished red candle at the close of play of the market. Close of play of the market. There's a lot of action in the last couple of hours of the market, yeah. And that was the end of the week. Final day, that's 8 hours of trading. Those are the last two candles. Lots and lots of action at the end of the week. And the chaps look like they've just, taken profit. They've sold off. They thought, right, it's Friday. Before we go home, let's take the profits. This we've put in down here. Let's take the profits. And that's why those two candles are down now. See what happens on Monday. It looks quite bullish, doesn't it? So we're expecting some rises, watching how he goes above the trend line. Get their fibs in there again. It's just big fibs. Go for the big bigs from the very top to the very bottom. No messing about. And again, so look, see on Monday, is it going to come above the 50? Will it get above this point here? It's taking their severe test there. Okay, put that in the hourly. Really have a look what's going on there. Right. So really want to have a look. I'm having a look between here and there on Monday. That is a key place. We see it on this area just around here. Might be said that there is, see just in here, from about here upwards, it's going to rush up, absolutely rush up and test that 618. Once it gets to above that there, top of that yellow box, once it comes above, what's that, 14222, there's that little area there, that little area of liquidity. So what is that price there? Come above, there's another line, isn't there? So what is that price from the bottoms of that area? 143. So you come off another pound quite quickly through that area. See in there, in between there, so what's that? Potentially from about there. So it comes up there, 140 to about 143. 143. That could come up potentially quite quickly. Maybe insofar as there. Might just ignore this little section along here. Might just come up to about there. What's that level? 147. Might even rush up to 147. Top of that candle does sit just beneath the 168. Maybe that might be the extremity of a price rise over a set phase. before retracing a little bit. So 14798 maximum this week, absolute maximum at the moment. Because in a way, keep an eye out for that level at 14798, that 148 point. So as it comes up to that 618 there, it could come back down, could retrace. But then again, if it bursts through, how's it going to look? Might be a nice move up again. So another price is going up. If it does break through the 618, does break through the price at 148.90, I'm looking at it coming up at 152 as the next test. 152 area from about 15124, 152. See how that goes. And if it does boost up there, key place to really take profit again be at 161 at the 786, a real solid line. If you just go above the 786 at this point, that's really great guns, absolutely solid. There appears to be a lot of interest in Rolls Royce as well. Yeah, that 786 looks tasty, doesn't it? It's a way off yet. It's a way off the key points. So I'm looking over the next, certainly on Monday morning, testing 139.66. Does come above there, 140, then 142.42, absolutely key point in time. Air liquidity, what's here? Prices as progress at 143.76. Above there, bonkers place there. Look at that, maybe up there. If it does break through, that's a great thing. But this area down here, what we got? We'll go for there. Conservative beneath the 618. This week, I wonder if it's going to come to 14738 thereabouts. Let's just check it out. 14692, pardon me, is where I'm looking at. 14692 this week is a possible bullish case. There we go. Let's just highlight that trend line a little bit more. What is the percentage like within this trend line at a narrow point? So where are we today? It's the 11th, 14th, that's the Monday. About there. 15th, 16th, Wednesday. 17th, Thursday. 18th. There we go. So the range, 7% range, really potentially looking at there over the next week or so. So it could come up and down 7%, which is, fantastic place to attack. Bearing in mind, it has to retain this level of trend up on there. That's what I wanted to do. Retain that trend. Because that is going to be incredibly psychologically important for the market, that trend line. That's my safety parameter. Keep above that trend line, trade above the trend line. If it falls through, can still come down to the 236. That's the next psychological barrier. Boom, along there. See how that 236 comes on there, key point, and then drops down. So we want to keep above that 236. A bit of a long one, but a bit of a long video. Saturday morning, feeling good. And everybody, good luck with that. Yeah, there we go. I love it.